Want a soar? Get a mentor. Hey, it's Nina Carmichael, and we made these videos probably because you're the most ambitious person in your circle. But you know you're capable of much more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and learn how to get paid when you're starting out from zero. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Start for free.
The free leads you to the paid. If you have no momentum, no traction, no clients, then start for free. Prove your worth and build momentum. Give them something they can't wait to have again and pay for this time. The goal isn't to do free forever, but the free gives you the thing that you're missing the most, which is momentum in your business. So I'm pre-launching my book right now, Built to Serve, and people who buy the book in pre-order also get access to my private Facebook group where I help people one-on-one every week. And so the guy that I had on last week is a coach. He's a health coach. He wants to help people make transformations to their health because he made a radical shift in his health as well. And I said, great, well, how are you doing right now? Well, I have a couple clients, but I'm still working at a restaurant. I want to be able to leave that so I can focus on this full time. Awesome. If you're a coach, what I need to see you is coaching. I need to see you coaching people. What I'd love to see now is an Instagram Live regular show. And what do you do on your Instagram Live? You bring on people who need help being coached through a health transformation. Because it's one thing to say, I'm a coach and I help people get these results. It's another though to actually see people change. To have you go live with them one-on-one and help them bust through their limiting beliefs and their mindset and the issues that they're dealing with. And then to come out on the other side by the end of the call, feeling hope, feeling invigorated, feeling inspired, because people will watch that and say, man, I want a result like that. They see themselves in the client that you're helping and they then want it for themselves. Now you get two versions. One will be free people. One will be like, can you do me? I'll take it for free, which is great. Don't say no, don't get discouraged, don't get upset. You want the free because the free gives you the content. And so if they're willing to come on and do live on Instagram with you for free, then you do it. And there'll be other people who say, hey, I love what you're doing. I need a radical transformation in my health as well, but I don't want to be on Instagram. I don't want to make it public. Can I hire you privately? Bingo, right? That's what we're looking for. That's when you start getting paid. The free leads to the paid. Whatever it is that you want to get known for, whatever it is you want to start making money with, show it to me publicly for free. And if other people want it publicly for free as well, then it's a yes, especially at the beginning when you have no momentum and no clients and you're working some job that you hate. Yes, for free, yes. One, you get better at it because the more you do, the better you'll get. And two, you're building momentum and people start talking about you. And then you get to the people who will see it and say, I want that person. I want to hire that person. And any repeat people, if they want more, they want coaching session number 2, it's paid. Here's how much it costs. The free leads you to the paid. So how can you do it? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that you can follow. Step number 1 is think, who can you help? Who specifically can you help? Like, who are the people that you want to help? So for me, it'd be entrepreneurs. If you are a makeup artist and you're just doing it for yourself, or you have some job that you hate and you have no aspiration of being an entrepreneur, I might be able to help you a little bit, but it's not my core audience. I want to help entrepreneurs. Who are the people specifically that you want to be helping? So in the case of the guy who was in my insiders group, he started off just saying that he was a transformational coach. Okay, great, but that could be anything. Everybody needs a transformation. Everybody, the whole world needs a transformational coach. Who? Because if you can't tell me exactly who it is that you help, then I can't think of who I can refer you to. You're making it too difficult on people. If you serve everybody, then you serve nobody. So who are you helping? He's like, well, I love helping people who need a big transformational change in their health because that was me. Awesome. Now it's more specific. Step number 2 is what specifically will you do? How do you help? Are you gonna coach me through a process? You're gonna meditate with me? You're gonna give me, a product that will help me? What specifically will you do? And so with my friend who was in the group, he was saying that he wants to do coaching calls. He coaches people. They don't have to be face-to-face. It can be anywhere in the world as long as he can see them. Great. So that's specifically what you do. You have your methodology, you have your steps. Makes you seem like an expert and you kind of know what you're doing, right? You create your own methodology. Say, here is how I can help people get a result from the problem that they're coming in with. And in step number 3 is think, how can you make it public? You need them to get a result. You need this specific person with this problem to come in. You're gonna help them. You're gonna help them get a result. And I wanna see them get a result. And then how can you make it public so that other people can see it too? So that it's not just you talking about how you had this great result, but it's them in a public forum. So if I see them getting a result, I'm gonna think, I'm just like that person too. I wanna contact you and hire you and bring you on board in my team because I want, for me, what you just did to that person. So who can you help? What specifically can you do? And then how can you make it public?
Rule number 2, learn how to sell.
You don't have to be an extrovert to sell. You also don't have to be a slime ball to sell either. All you need to sell is a vision that you believe in and a passion to make it come true. And if you don't learn to effectively sell, that genius idea that you have in here that can serve the world will never come to fruition and you'll never get the impact that you're after. So I'm here in LA, and over the past 2 days, I've been on the podcast for Jordan Belfort, Wolf of Wall Street, and Jay Abraham, who's the legendary marketing guru for Tony Robbins and Damon John and a whole bunch of other people. And I'm on their podcast, and I'm telling them that they need to be on YouTube, that they need to get their message out. I want to see them more heavily invested. I want to see their message reach the world. And 5 years ago, Evan of 5 years ago would have been too afraid, too humbled, too worried that I might not be perfect, that I wouldn't be able to persuade them to do the thing, and so I wouldn't have tried. And I still have a bit of that in me. When Jordan Belfort asked me, how good are you? Like, how good at YouTube are you? And the answer that I gave was within the thought leadership world, if you want to help entrepreneurs, I'm top 3-5 in the world. Even as I say it, it feels weird saying it, because the Canadian or Carmichael kind of humbleness is pumping in, but it's also true. Because when you're talking to somebody who is not super familiar with what you're doing, they're trying to get an understanding. When I'm talking to Jordan Belfort and trying to give him an understanding of what I do and why my message is so important for him, I'm trying to serve him. I'm trying to help him. I want him to win. So the credibility is important. It backs it up, and me not strongly believing in myself means that he won't believe in me either. And one of my favorite messages from Jordan, and I told him this at the beginning of the podcast interview, was sales is about a transfer of certainty. Of all the things I've learned from Jordan Belfort, that is the number one thing that still rings true in my head. Sales, if you want to sell people, you want to persuade them on something. And it's, again, not for nefarious reasons, not to screw somebody over, not just to get their money. You want to persuade them. I'm here trying to persuade Jordan, trying to persuade Jay, trying to persuade lots of other people to take their message and put it up on YouTube to spread it to the world. It's for them, right? I got frustrated with Jordan halfway through the interview, and he said, why are you frustrated? Because he's making it a joke and having fun, and he loves having fun on the show, and it's a more entertaining show. He's way more funny and entertaining than I am. I told him, you're doing this for the audience because people will watch the show. I'm doing this for you. Like, we're here at a limited time, and I want you to win. I want to get this out of my head into yours so you can go take action on it, right? So the ability to sell and persuade is based off your ability to transfer certainty. And so when you fully believe in the thing, like this is right, this is the thing that has to happen in service for your customer, in service for your audience, you have to do this, not for me, but because it's the best thing for you. When you fully believe it, then you have to go all in on it. Now I have an expression that when I'm 85% sure, I'm 100. When you're 85% sure, you don't just act like you're 100% sure, you are 100% sure. Why? Because there's a tendency to hold on to that 15%. That 15% of doubt, of insecurity, of you don't have the full picture, you don't have all the context, it's always gonna be there. There's a little bit of you that you're not quite sure if that's actually gonna be the answer for them or not. If you hedge your opinion, if you hedge your advice, then all they're gonna hear is the hedge, because they don't really wanna do the thing. They're afraid of doing that thing. They have systems against that thing. This is something brand new for them that they don't wanna move earth to make happen. They're gonna hold on to your hedge. If you go to 100%, like this is a must, this is absolute certainty, this is the thing you need to do, it's whoever's more confident wins. They sense no insecurity, no doubt in you, they're gonna have to come on board. That's how you pull them to your side of the camp. And again, not in an icky way, not in a slime ball way, not in just a salesy, scumbucket way, in a way that serves them, that helps them. If you can't learn to persuade people to follow you on your mission, and to do the thing that's actually in their own best interest. If you can't persuade them, they're never going to take the action, and you're never going to hit your big goals. You're never going to have the impact that you know you can have. You have to learn to persuade, and it's a transfer of certainty. So how do you get certain? How do you persuade? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Number 1 is understanding what's your big vision. What's the big vision? What are you trying to do? I want to solve the world's biggest problem, right? I want to help people believe in themselves more. I think that's the biggest thing that holds people back, that you just don't believe in yourself enough. If you want to talk about that, I'm absolutely certain. You want to talk about something else? You want to talk about coffee and if Starbucks beans are better than some, I don't care. I got nothing. You could probably walk circles around me in most things in life, including Starbucks coffee beans. But the fact that the lack of belief is the number 1 problem in the world, and here's how to go off and solve it, I'm absolutely convinced and certain. And I can pull people in. If we're talking about, give me somebody who doesn't believe at all in themselves, in the world, in anything, and we start hanging out together, I'm gonna pull them in. There's no way I'm going to their camp. There's no way, because I'm sitting on the rock, right? What is your rock? What is your big vision? What is the thing that you know, deep down, you know has to happen because it's in service to the world and your mission? Step 2 is understand how it can help people. Get out of your own head. Stop being selfish. It's not about you. It's not about you bombing on stage or bombing in a sales presentation. It's about them. Whenever I'm about to get on stage and do a speech, I always think, I get stressed out sometimes, like, oh, I don't want to disappoint people. Like, disappointing people is my number 1 fear. I don't want to let them down. And then I think, this is not even about me. Stop being so selfish, Evan. This is about them. They're here to see you. They're here to learn. They're here to grow. They want to get better. It's about them. Stop being selfish, right? So think about your big mission is great. It's amazing. It'll help you, but it's in service of them. When you're talking to somebody and you're trying to help them out and you're going from 85 to 100% certainty, it's for them. Keep that in mind. It's not about you. Even if you're getting paid, it's not about you. It's about you solving a problem for them. And step number 3 is ask yourself, why must it happen right now? Like, why now? Why does it have to happen right now? Why does it matter? If you think, well, they can do it tomorrow, they can do it next week, or they can do it next year, guess what? It's never going to happen. There has to be urgency. They have to feel why it's so important immediately right now for this thing to happen. Your sense of urgency and the certainty in the urgency will draw them in to want to take some immediate action. So paint the picture and explain why now. Why is this the perfect time? Why if they don't do it right now, big consequences are going to happen, right? Either like actual negative things happening or just lost opportunity and them never being able to live the life that they want to live. Why right now? If you do not create urgency on them, nothing is going to happen. So what's your big vision? How is it going to help other people? And then why must they take action right now?
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief for every day. For 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below. If you're doing work that you love, you're more likely to follow through. You're more likely to do it because it doesn't feel like work, because you love doing it.
People who win work the hardest because they love what they do.
Create an outline and a schedule. What I found really helpful for me was to create an outline at the start.
Rule number 3, ignore the opinion of others.
Your fear of other people's judgment is the single biggest factor holding back the success of your life. You want to serve others. Humans are built to serve others. You need it. It's your purpose. But serving requires someone else. And as long as you're worried about that person's judgment and opinion of you, you'll stay still and never act. So you've got one foot on the brake and one foot on the gas, pushing hard, spinning your wheels, and never going anywhere, knowing that you're capable of a lot more, but afraid to take action. I don't tell a lot of stories about my parents. They had a huge impact on my life. They're here on the wall behind me. I'm 8 or 9 years old, and that's them above me. They're really private people, so I keep the stories that I share about them to a minimum. But one of my favorites are when I was in school, I was in art class, and the teacher told me to do a project, and he said, paint a window. And so I painted a window, and then I added a sailboat, and I added sunshine, and I had some curtains, and I added a lot more to the painting. And I failed the assignment because the teacher said, well, I asked you to paint a window and you did all this other stuff. And so my parents went into school later on and said, hey, what was the assignment that you asked Evan to do? And said, well, paint the window. I was like, well, he clearly painted the window. I mean, he did what you told him to do. And they stood up and became a shield for me. And I was blessed to have amazing parents. You might have amazing parents, you might not. It doesn't matter either way. But wherever you learn and however you learn, you have to learn it. That you need to go off and express yourself. You need to go off and create the thing that you want to create, even if the rules tell you that you can't do it, even if your teachers tell you that that's crazy, even if your parents tell you you'll never make it and they want you to do something safe and practical. You have to do it, because otherwise you're teaching yourself to play small, and that permeates for life. You have ideas, you're a genius, you've got Michael Jordan level talent at something. You should be off creating amazing things, but you're afraid because of other people's judgment. And as long as that is the thing that is in the back of your head, that you're not afraid of failing, you're afraid of failing in front of somebody else. You'll sing in the shower, but you won't sing on the street because you're afraid of what other people are gonna think about you. And as long as that is the reason why you're not taking action, then you lose for life. And the goal of this video is to stamp that out. So I've got a 3-step process that I think will help. Let's dive in. Step number 1 is the boom, boom test, and that's your heart. When your heart's going boom, 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 right? You're nervous, you're afraid, you're scared. When your heart's beating boom, 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 that is go time. That means you have to take action. That means you got to step into it. Every time your heart is beating, especially around other people's judgment of you, even if you have no interest in the thing at all, just the fact that you're willing to go off and do it and risk potential embarrassment means you have to do it. Because you don't want to teach yourself that you catch yourself being nervous and playing small. Because you're teaching yourself that you suck. And that's not acceptable. When you feel your heart going like this, or your palms sweating, or whatever your sign is that you're nervous or afraid, you have to go off and do it. Now, be safe. Don't do something stupid, obviously, right? Don't go trying to juggle knives that are on fire, okay? There are some limits, but most of the things that you're afraid of are not that. Most of the things that you want to go off and execute are not, I want to juggle flaming knives. The thing that you're afraid of are other people's opinions of if you fail or not. You have to stomp it out, because this will haunt you for life and prevent you from accomplishing the goals that you have for yourself. So take the boom, boom test. Boom, boom. Your heart's going boom, boom. That's not play small time. That is go time. Step number 2 is the Quincy Jones rule. Quincy Jones, legendary music producer, had this one line, and it's in his top 10s, and I love it, where he says,
"Not one drop of my self-worth depends on your acceptance of me."
And I just remember that anytime I'm worried about what somebody might think of me, I think back to Quincy Jones. I think back to all the people that I profiled. If you want to be a leader, if you want to be an innovator, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you're doing things that are different, right? You don't want to wake up and live the same life as everybody else. But in order to do that, you have to be willing to live a different life and to be able to face criticism for living that different life. Even if most of the judgment that's coming at you is really those people's insecurities, right? Most people who are throwing shade at you, they don't like their own life. Most people don't like their life, and they'd rather attack other people who have a better life, or at least trying to chase down a better life, than try to do something on their own. So the Quincy Jones rule, and all the people that I profile, look at them, study them, see what they went through, see what they struggled with, see how many people threw shade at them and told them they were not going to make it. And the more you surround yourself with that and know that that's normal, like that's actually the process that you go through to be a leader, to be an innovator, to be an entrepreneur, to be a success, to be a creative, it gives you more confidence. So remind yourself of the Quincy Jones rule that not 1 ounce, not 1 drop of your self-worth comes from somebody else's opinion of you. And step number 3 is be the tree. I see entrepreneurs and leaders as trees. What does a tree do? A tree breathes in carbon dioxide, which too much of for a human is poison. Like you get carbon dioxide poison. It's too much. But a tree breathes it in. And what does a tree do with that carbon dioxide? They breathe it in, they eat it, grow from it, and then spits out oxygen positivity for the world. I think that's your role. I think that's your job as an entrepreneur. Your job actually is to eat everybody's judgment. Eat all the people, all the naysayers that say you can't do this, you're never gonna make it happen. To eat it, to grow from it, and then to spit out positivity for the world. That you become the example of what's possible. That you become the person that people look to and say, look what this person overcame, and they did it, and then you're the shining star that other people look to, and you give permission for other people to chase their dreams too. Even the fact that you're willing to try, even if you never make it, the fact that you're willing to try will be an inspiration to other people to go off and bet on themselves. So you're the tree. I think that's part of your role. And flipping the mindset of, I'm taking on this negative judgment, people hate me and they think I suck, to say, yeah, that's what I'm here for. because I'm gonna go off and get my dreams, and then I'm gonna inspire millions of people to go off and chase theirs down as well. Be the tree.
Rule number 4, don't stay in mediocrity.
If you are the most ambitious person that you know, you are going to play small for life. Look around at your friends, your family, the people that you hang out with. What do they want out of life? If you're the one always pushing them and no one's pushing you, guess what happens? You don't get the push that you need and you stay in mediocrity, being the best in a group of unambitious people. So I just came back from an event in Florida that I was doing a keynote at, and at the end, I challenged an entrepreneur who showed up to make some changes on his YouTube channel. We met over dinner, I helped him with his YouTube channel, it was him and his business partner sitting there, and I said, by tomorrow, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go in and make sure you have these things updated. And he said, yes, I'll do it. I said, it's important to do it by tomorrow because I'm still here. I'm still here in the morning. If you need anything, you can ask me face to face while I'm still here before I fly home to Toronto. Yes, I'll do it. Next morning comes around. We show up in a meeting. I got a meetup happening. We got, I don't know, 30 people who showed up to meet with me. And I see him out of the corner of my eye sitting at the back of the room. And I say, hey, did you do the thing that I told you to do? And he said, no, I didn't do it. I said, why? What happened? He said, well, we were doing lots of other stuff. It's been a full day. You know, we had this entire day of speaking and meeting people. And then so much information. We went home. We were doing all this kind of work. Okay, great. But what about the promise that you made to me to do it? And then his business partner chimes in and said, you know, it's actually my fault. I told him. Evan's probably not going to notice. He's not going to remember. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it when we all fly back home. And so I told him, don't let your business partner's low standards prevent you from moving forward on the things that you said you were going to do. Staying committed to the thing that you say you're gonna do, your word to yourself, is the whole game. Forget about what you just say to other people. What do you do for yourself? Because we're often looking for no's. We're often looking for somebody else to give us a break, right? He's been working hard, and he is. And I know him, and I know his business partner, and these guys are not slackers. They're not slackers. And I was poking a little bit at his business partner, saying his low expectations, his low standards. But in this situation, it was true. The entrepreneur that I was speaking to said he was gonna do this thing by tomorrow morning before he came and went to my event. He would do it. And his business partner says he's not gonna remember. Don't worry, we've worked too hard already. Let it go. We'll do it when we get home. And they would do it when they got home. I know they would. He's looking for the reason not to do it. When you say you wanna hit the gym, when you say you want to hit these business goals, when you say you want to have this outcome and be proud of the effort that you put in every day, when you say that you're going to do something, there will be moments where you want to let yourself off the hook, where you say, I work so hard, or I'm so tired, or I deserve a break, right? This is the language you use to yourself. And so when that happens, you're looking for affirmations from the people around you. And if you are the most ambitious person in your friend group, if you are the most ambitious person, what's going to happen? They're gonna say, you already work so hard anyway. What are you talking about? Yes, of course. Give yourself the break. And it's the exact answer that you're looking for, because you want to give yourself a break. Now, if you're proud of your effort, maybe you should take a break. But it's not because somebody with lower standards gave you the pass. It's because you're proud of the effort that you put in. And so this is where it gets really dangerous. When you are the most successful, the most ambitious person from the people around you, they're always gonna give you a reason to play smaller. You can't accept it. You have to push through. You need to change your environment. I'm gonna give you 3 ways to do it. Step number 1 is collect good people. I like to say I'm in the business of collecting good people. You wanna collect good people. Somebody that you meet on the street, at an event, online, collect them. Find ways to stay in touch. Follow them on Instagram and on YouTube and comment on their stuff. Tell them, sometimes it gets super awkward. I've told people, I really like you. I really love your style. I really like everything you're doing. I just wanna stay in touch. And maybe that means you're just DMing them when you have questions. Maybe that means you're setting something formal up, or you're having a coffee meeting every month to connect. Maybe that means you're asking them, business questions whenever you have them. There's a lot of different ways that the relationship can take shape. And this is where a lot of people fall down, is you expect to have the answer in your head, and when you don't know what the relationship will look like, you don't go for it, because you don't know what to present. You don't know what to pitch. You don't know what to say. And so you say nothing. And that's the worst case scenario. Don't do that. Tell somebody, I love your vibe. I love the energy. How do we stay in touch? And then whatever flows, flows. You have to be in the business of collecting good people. You want good people around you, not just for your team, but people who are your peers, people who can be your mentors. Because when you get that situation, when you say, I promised myself that I would do this tomorrow, I promised myself that before tomorrow morning this would happen, the people around you are saying, dude, what are you doing? Let's go. Not, you work so hard, you deserve a break. No, let's go. You promised yourself you would do it. Come on. They pull you up to be the best version of you. Step number 2 is get aspirational mentors. I love being around people who've done a lot more than me. This is actually my default. I don't really have people in my life who push me to be better. I don't have too many people around me say, Evan, you really suck at this. Let's go, get better, get better, get better. I get most of mine from aspirational mentors, from Steve Jobs and A.P. Giannini and Howard Schultz and Kanye West, the videos that I put up every single day on my channel. So I had a buddy of mine say, I really love it when you do a David Goggins video. Or another one yesterday said, I really love it when you do Kobe Bryant. Great, if you know that Kobe inspires you or David inspires you, then surround yourself with him, right? Watch their YouTube videos, watch their interviews, have a Google alert that comes at any time it says Kobe Bryant interview or David Goggins interview, you get a notification. Listen to their podcast if they have one. Read their book, listen to their audios, right? As much as possible, be around that, because the more you are around that, they're training you to think like they think. They're pulling you up to their level, even if you never meet them. That's what I try to do with my channel every day, is I need it selfishly for myself. There's people that I surround myself with daily. I want Elon Musk and Steve Jobs and Oprah Winfrey and these people pulling me up to make me better. So get yourself some aspirational mentors, the people that you look up to and say, man, I wish I could be like them. You can. You just have to think like them. And the way to think like them and act like them and have the mindset of them is to be around them more often. And step number 3 is play bigger triggers. I like having triggers in my environment that force me to remind myself of who I am, of who I would like to be, of what I'm becoming. So you can have the greatest day of all time. Maybe you watch this video and you're fired up, you get motivated, say, yes, I'm gonna go and do some work. Awesome. You're gonna wake up tomorrow and be the person who you used to be again. You wake up tomorrow and it's a new day. Every day is a new day. And so you might remember to do something, but chances are you may not. And so that's why having play bigger triggers in your environment, you set them up once and it reminds you to go off and play a bigger game. So my office, there's a bunch of play bigger triggers here, right? There's mentors of mine, including my parents, who are looking at me every time I walk into here. There's the awards down here, which remind me of what I do, that 1 million people have subscribe to my channel. Now we're at 2. It's a crazy number that when I'm coming to make a video, lots of people are watching it. I have my neck braces down there to remind myself of when I broke my neck. I kept going on my tour. I've got my Doritos here to remind myself that I'm stronger than these Doritos. Damn the Doritos. These things are stronger than me? No, all I want to do is eat this bag every single day. And standing here is a reminder of how awesome I am. At least that's what I'm telling myself, right? They're all play bigger triggers. So what's in your physical environment? What's the background on your cell phone? What's the background on your desktop? How can you set up your environment once, just with some thoughtful thinking once, that then every time you walk into it, it lifts you up?
Rule number 5, the last one before our very special bonus clip, showed up.
People don't show up for one of 3 reasons. Number 1 is you're afraid. You're afraid of rejection, you're afraid of failure, you're afraid of it not working out, and so you just don't show up. Number 2 is you're not consistent. You show up some days, but you don't show up other days because you don't have the routines and habits in place to make you show up consistently every single day. And number 3 is you don't want to. You don't want to show up because you don't actually enjoy the thing that you're about to do. You would rather procrastinate on it because you don't love it, and showing up is more painful than just sitting around. So my goal today with this video is to help you bust through these so that you can show up for life and have the impact that you want to have. So I think the fear of showing up is actually a good thing. It means that you are doing something different, something outside your comfort zone, something that is not normal, that is new, and that's good. You want to be pushing the envelope. If there was nothing that you were afraid to show up to today, tomorrow, next week, then you're not growing, you're not learning, you're not pushing against your boundaries and comfort zones. And so even today, I had to show up. And again, it should be every single day. So today, I was procrastinating on sending out an email to Grant, as well as a couple other people, where I'm looking at doing more collaborations, more work on my YouTube channel, more cross-pollination connection to other successful YouTubers to help the whole entrepreneur YouTube community grow, right? I want to get the message out there. I want to be playing a bigger game. And so I emailed Grant and I emailed 4 other people with a new idea that I had. So when the idea was first suggested to me about doing this and reaching out, I had a little bit of nerves, like, okay, it's gonna require an ask. I might get rejected, it may not work out. And I had it scheduled for today, because today was my YouTube day. And so I look at the list today, I'm like, maybe I should start with one person or two people or just pick the easy people. And just the fact that I felt that, just the fact that that was one of the reasons meant I had to go and do 5. I had to do a bigger number. I had to go after the harder people. I had to do the people that I thought may say yes, may say no, may make me look bad if they say no. And a lot of it is just head games. The honest truth is, Grant's probably not going to care. Grant's probably going to say yes. Like 98% chance he says yes, and he passes it on to somebody on his team. We start working together and we create the collaboration. 1% chance he ignores it, and 1% chance he says no. But it's not the logical, rational things that hold us back. It's the emotional, fearful things. And so what I've trained myself to do is anytime I feel that oh my God, it may not work out, then I have to do it. I have to do it. I have just to show myself, because the worst thing you can do is get to the edge of the cliff and say you're gonna jump and then not jump. It's better not to catch that you're nervous. It's better not to even come up with the idea, to just float around in ignorance. Ignorance is bliss, than to catch it and then play small. And so as soon as you catch it, I've trained myself, I want you to do the same thing. As soon as you catch it, train yourself to do it. Even if it doesn't work out, just training yourself that you don't back down when you are afraid. So I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that you can follow to help you conquer your fears, to help you show up consistently every day. Let's do it. Number 1 is tell yourself that you do scary things. One of the biggest reasons why people don't advance their ideas forward is because it's scary. It's scary. You're afraid. Amazing. That is now no longer an acceptable reason. You do scary things. You love scary things. You embrace scary things. You want to do scary things. This isn't just a mindset trick. It's actually true. You want to do scary things. You do. What's the opposite of scary things? The opposite of scary, if you walk through life and you're never scared of anything, it's not that you're super confident. No, it means that you're living inside your comfort zone. It means you're only doing things that have zero fear, that you have absolute certainty in because you've done it before. You're bored. You're living inside your bubble. And you need to break out, because that means you're photocopying your life every single day. If there's nothing in your calendar that makes you scared, you hate your life. And so pay attention to the language, pay attention to how you talk to yourself, pay attention to when you feel afraid. And as long as it's not against your code of ethics or doing something stupid, don't go jump out of an airplane without a parachute because you're afraid, right? Most of the things you're afraid of are not life-threatening. Teach yourself that you do scary things, you love scary things, and you're not allowed to use that as an excuse anymore for not taking action. Number 2 is think what makes you soar. What is the thing that gets you feeling bold, alive, confident, ready to take action, wanting to show up to life? What is it? I go through 5 S's every morning as part of my morning routine. The first is sing, and then sun, and then soar, and then sweat, and then scare. The most important part is soar though. It's the thing that I do to make me come alive, that makes me want to soar. And so for me, what I do is I think about an entrepreneur that I helped yesterday, and then I pull up my phone, and then I record a message. And I share that to my YouTube stories, Instagram stories, Twitter, LinkedIn, I put it everywhere. I need to feel like the work that I do matters. Right now I'm just talking to a camera. I'm just talking into a camera right now, and later it's gonna be edited and it's gonna be thrown up on YouTube, and lots of people are gonna watch the video. That's crazy. It's hard to imagine, because I'm just sitting here in my office talking into a camera. And so I need to remember that the work I do has purpose, that this matters to some people. Right? That people rely on my videos every day as a part of their routine. And that helps make me soar. So I wake up just like everybody else. I'm tired. I don't know what time it is. Sometimes, even this morning I woke up, I didn't even know what day it was. Is it the weekend? I had no idea, right? You wake up, I'm not coming out of the day saying, yeah, oh my gosh, let's go, right? That's not how anybody wakes up. Nobody. That's not how Grant Cardone wakes up, Evan Carmichael, Tony Robbins, nobody. That's not how we wake up. The difference is the habits that you set on a daily basis to demand that success, to demand that you show up. And so what is the thing that helps make you soar? Maybe it's remembering the impact you want to have. Maybe it's sharing a message to YouTube, to Instagram, to LinkedIn. Maybe it's doing an act of service. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's reading. Maybe it's watching these videos. What is it that makes you feel like you want to soar? And then don't randomly hope that it happens. Demand that it's part of your morning routine. Because if you woke up and did the thing to make you soar, to make you feel bold, confident, unstoppable, and you did that every day for the next year, your life will be dramatically different. You will not recognize the person who you used to be. The challenge is you're not consistent in soaring. And so I need you to make that part of your morning routine. And then number 3 is understand what is your Michael Jordan talent? What could you be the greatest in the world at? You could be the greatest of all time at something. You are. But what is that thing? Most people are living way below their potential because they settled. You settled too early. You settled because you were pressured. You settled because you were afraid. You settled because you ran out of time, or at least you felt you did. That's not an acceptable answer anymore. You could be the greatest in the world at something. And if you're procrastinating on something, it's either because you're afraid of the thing, in which case you need to go and do it because you do scary, you do afraid, right? Back to tip number 1. Or 2, you just don't like it. You procrastinate because you don't like it. And if you continue to do work that you don't like, you're never going to be the best because you're going up against people who love it, right? If you're going up to play basketball against Michael Jordan, you better love the game as much as he does, or you're going to lose. If it's just a strategy for you, you're going to lose. And so look at the thing that's in front of you. Look at the thing that you are not showing up for. It's for one of those 3 reasons. Either you're afraid to do it and therefore you must do it. Or 2, you don't have consistent habits, in which case you need to put the thing that makes you sore into your morning routine. Or 3, you just don't actually want to do it. And stop forcing yourself to do it. Go off and find the thing that you have Michael Jordan level talent at. The reason why you don't follow through on your vision is because you don't trust it enough. It makes sense that it's going to happen, but it's not happening yet. People aren't saying yes. There's no momentum. There's no money coming in. And you start to wonder, who am I to have this big dream? So then there's this temptation to give up and go do something else and not follow through on your vision. But you know in the back of your head, you know that eventually for someone, it's gonna work out. You need to stay on it. You need to follow through. Otherwise, someone else is gonna make money off of your idea. They're gonna make it happen without you. So look at what I'm trying to do here with this channel, with my YouTube content, with my mission, my purpose. I'm trying to solve the world's biggest problem. I want to spread more belief, right? The world's biggest problem is that people don't believe in themselves enough. I think everybody is a genius. Everybody has Michael Jordan level talent at something. They're just not living it. They're not doing it. They're not expressing it. And so they end up living a life that they don't like, knowing that they're capable of more. Like, this is the problem I am trying to solve. It's one that I'm never going to fully solve in my lifetime. And I wake up every day trying to do it. And it's easy to get up and think, well, there's so many people trying to do the same thing. There's Tony Robbins and there's all these other people. Who am I to go off and do this? And I remind myself that I may not be Tony Robbins. I may not ever have as big an impact. I may not sell as many books as Simon Sinek. I may never have that big an impact. But I was able to help some people. You know, we have 2 million subscribers across the channels. We have 300 million views across the channels. It's having an impact. It's helping people. I can get better. I need to get better. But what I'm doing is already having an impact and helping people. So I need to keep going. And that's what I find really helpful. Just reminding yourself that you matter, that the work you do matters. Even if it hit one person, it made a difference. It matters. And so you have to follow through. You have to keep going. Because what's the alternative? What are you going to do? Go work at some job that you hate? That's what you're going to do the rest of your life? You don't want that life. And then you see somebody else start winning off of the idea that you had just because they stuck with it and they kept following through. A lot of the people who win aren't the smartest. They're not the even people who don't have the biggest mission or vision. They just kept going. They started and they kept going. The thing that's missing for most people is just momentum. You don't have enough momentum. You're a genius. And dummies are winning from your idea because you don't have enough sustained momentum. You have to keep going. And so if you're struggling with that, imposter syndrome, struggling to keep going with motivation, I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step 1 is big why, little why. I like using this as a way just to remember what I'm doing, remember why it's important, and have the mindset every day to wake up and go to work. The big why is what you're trying to do. The big mission, the impossible dream, the big vision, the goal that's never gonna happen. What is that thing? That's your big why. I wanna solve the world's biggest problem. Never gonna happen. And yet I wake up every day trying to make it happen. That's my big why. Sometimes the big why is too big, right? Sometimes it's scary. Sometimes you look at that and say, I can't do that. I mean, if it's never gonna happen in your life, why even try, right? So you might have some days like that. And so then I look at the little why. And the little why is the individual person that you helped. It's the comments on the video that I'll get on this video. You guys, right? You're my little why. It's before I started doing YouTube, I was doing speaking and people would give me praise after my event and I feel great, but then the next day I wake up and I'd feel low again. So I would look at the praise. I made this PowerPoint file and I looked at the praise every day that people put in, and that kept me going. It's my little why. It's like I touched somebody. It was important. And so for the days where you feel like your big why is too big and never gonna happen and who are you, you're like, well, I helped some people. And even if you don't have lots of subscribers on YouTube, you've helped somebody. You can always help somebody. You can always help one person today. You can help them. Just go to Twitter and do a search, or go to Instagram and do a search of somebody who's complaining about a problem that you can help with, and just help them. Give them advice. Make a quick little video to say, here's what you can do to help. There you go. Then maybe that takes you 5 minutes to do. You just help somebody. That's your little why. So the big why, the little why. Big why, your big vision, your mission, your dream, your big goal that's getting you excited to go forward. Little why, when the big why feels too big, to remind yourself that what I do is important. What you do is important. That you matter. That you make a difference. Number 2 is trust your bold ideas. You need to trust that your ideas come to you for a reason. An idea came to you for a reason. Where did it come from? I don't know, but it came to you for a reason, and trust in them, because you have ideas that are happening all the time in your head. Whether you're going on a walk, or I get a lot of ideas in the shower, wherever you're getting your ideas, trust that they came to you for a reason and you need to see them through. You got to do something about it. The biggest thing again is lack of momentum. Don't worry about it working out. Don't worry about the end game. How am I going to get to 1 billion entrepreneurs? How am I going to have this? I don't know. Don't get stuck on that. That's quicksand. That prevents you from moving forward, because there's so many different options that you want to plan it to get to perfection. You'll never be perfect. Stop trying to make a perfect plan. It does not exist. Move, do something. Trust that idea came to you for a reason. Let's go. The idea came to you for a reason. You got to do something about it immediately, right now, today, because you're going to wake up tomorrow a different person. And step number 3 is study success. Study success. Find the people who've done the thing that you want to do, who've done it, who've had success doing it. And I find it super helpful because, one, it gives me the motivation to keep going, because chances are they failed many times. They failed over and over and over again, and then they won, right? Nobody just have an idea and boom, they're a millionaire overnight, right? Most of your heroes, they failed more than you failed, and they came from less than what you've already come from, right? You have more resources right now than your heroes did when they started. You just do. So that's inspiring, at least for me. And then it also gives you the strategies, like what did they do and what can you do too? And so studying success is a great way to be able to take those ideas that you've got, that vision that you have, and actually turn it into some kind of action. Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video, because you are awesome.
If you want to learn how to stop living in a small life, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
Great ideas flow through you. Teach yourself to learn, to understand, to feel that great ideas flow through you. That when you are feeling bold, powerful,